Hey guys, it's Kerry with the Walking on the Boulevard podcast. I hope you guys are doing good out there in Elvis land. This particular podcast was not planned. It's been a really sad week for all of us in the Elvis world, especially. Lisa Marie Presley passed away this week, and it's just been really, really, really devastating to a whole lot of us. So, yesterday I talked to my friend Colin Paul, who lives in the United Kingdom. He's getting ready to kick off another tour, and I talked to him about doing just a short little podcast. And Colin sent a little clip that I'm going to play later in the podcast. But I just want to talk a little bit about Lisa Marie Presley. So if you're an Elvis fan, I'm sure you know as much or more information about Lisa Marie Presley as I do. I've been a fan of Elvis since I was a little kid. And I guess you'd say a fan of Lisa Marie for a pretty good while as well. I know I first visited Graceland when I was just a little kid. This was years after Elvis had passed away, and then I started going back. I went back a few times in the early to mid '90s, just by passing through when I would go to Tennessee for some reason. But I started going to Elvis Week at the end of the decade, and I've been going ever since. And I come to most of the birthdays. I believe I've missed 2 birthdays, but it's been a really, really long time since I've missed them. I even come for the Christmas lighting just about every year for that as well. So Lisa Marie she was a semi-regular, I guess you'd say, at the different Elvis events that would be going on in Memphis. She wasn't there as much as Priscilla. Priscilla's kind of like the PR person for the fans. She's at a lot of the events that they do, like Elvis Week. A lot of times she'll show up for the birthday. If there's a grand opening for something, they'll usually get her out there. But Lisa would come, every once in a while. I mean, she was there a decent amount. It wasn't like she would go 10 years or anything without coming, but it wasn't every year kind of thing. But she had a lot going on. 4 kids, so that takes up a lot of your time. I remember, the early days for the birthday for me, probably 2005, 2006. I don't remember the exact year, so somebody can correct me if they know. But I know Lisa came and talked to the crowd with Priscilla and all. And I remember one year we were all standing out there, and good Lord, it was cold. And she came out there, and it was really, really quick. She just came out there and was like, "Hey, everybody," talked to us for just a second, and then was like, "It's cold, let's go inside." And so that was a really brief one. I couldn't believe she flew all the way to Memphis just for such a quick little thing. But anyway, I had the opportunity to meet her. Let's see, when was it? It was either 2012 or 2013. I had gone to Conversations with some friends of mine. Now, Conversations, what that is they get different people that are associated with Elvis. This is generally, they'll have it at the birthday celebration sometimes, and then at Elvis Week there might be 3 or 4 of them. But they'll get different people who are associated with Elvis, and they'll just get up on stage, and they'll share stories, and maybe Tom Brown or someone will have a certain topic that they want to discuss. So I went with some friends, and we watched Conversations, and Lisa Marie had gotten up to leave the area, and the show was still going on. But we decided to go outside to see if we could meet her. And as soon as we came out, that we noticed they had already put up like a fence, a little barrier going in front of it. If you remember the old plaza across the street from his house before they knocked it down and built the new complex, the Sirius Radio was right out there in the open, and so they built a barricade from the little opening to where you would come out from Conversations that would lead in front of the Sirius Radio. And so we just lined up there along with like 9 bazillion other fans who apparently had the same idea we did. And Lisa Marie came out there, and she went in and talked on Sirius Radio for a few minutes with I believe it was George Klein, and then came out. And we didn't expect her to stay. We figured she might sign a few autographs and then hop back in her car and head back to Los Angeles or whatever she had going on. But she didn't. She stuck around, and she stayed for a long time because there was a lot of people there, and she was really, really friendly. I couldn't believe that she was just sticking around, because it wasn't like a lot of celebrities, if they have a movie coming out or a new album or something, they might stick around to kind of promote it, but she didn't have anything at the time. But she stayed out there. She signed a ton of autographs, took pictures with a lot of people. It took me a while because I was kind of back of the crowd and had to make my way forward with my friends. But I eventually got her to sign my Conversations ticket stub, which she just signed her initials, put LMP on it, but it's still pretty cool. And a friend of mine who has a lot of tattoos, she got Lisa Marie to tattoo her arm, or to sign her arm, and then she went and had it tattooed on her arm. So that was really, really cool. That was my friend Carrie. I won't say her last name in case she doesn't want me to. But that was a lot of fun. That was the very first time I met her, but I had seen her a bunch of times, different events, because like I said, she would get up there and talk. I'll say, let's see, I'll go back to say 2000, I believe it was 2002. I wanted to go. They had a concert. It was Elvis in concert. If you're not familiar with this, what they would do, like about every 5 years, I believe, they would kind of recreate an Elvis concert. They would have Elvis up on the big screen, and then they would have a whole bunch of people from his band, backup singers, stuff like that, would get on the stage, and they would sing and play along with Elvis. They would I guess they would remove all of the music from the track, and they would just have Elvis singing, and so his band and all would be able to sing and play along with him. It was really, really cool. Me and my mother used to come, and me and her had wanted to go, but unfortunately it was sold out. But then, however, I don't even know how it happened, we ended up getting a call back saying that there were a few tickets available. So we got tickets, and we were in the nosebleed section, so we were a long way away, but we didn't care. I'd never been to an Elvis concert. And I just wanted to see what it was like. So we went to the show with no expectation, had no idea what was going to be happening, and it was awesome. We were loving it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Lisa Marie Presley comes out and starts talking to the crowd and tells us about her new album. This was when she had made her first album, and she said there was a song on there that I think she and another person maybe had written about her father. And it was a song called Nobody Noticed It, which had not been played anywhere. So this was, and then she said, I'm not going to sing the song, but I will play it for you. So they played it over the loudspeaker, and it was a really, really good song. If you haven't heard it, it's on YouTube, so just check it out. It's a really, really good song. And that was like the highlight right there. I remember after the show going over and like playing, I had my camera with me, and I recorded little bits and pieces of the show and took a lot of pictures. So I was going over to people I'd met at Elvis Week and like, check this out, Lisa Marie's got a new song, and played the song for them. A lot of people liked it, and that was pretty much it. That was pretty much the highlight of that. And I ended up 5 years later, they had another concert like this, but unfortunately, a lot of the band at this point, a lot of the bandmates, people that were in his group and all, had started to pass away, so it wasn't quite as many people, or some of them may have just been sick and weren't able to be there. But it was still a really, really good concert. And at this time, she had gotten married. She had married Michael Lockwood, and she was pregnant with twins, and so she wasn't going to be there. There was no plans that I know of for Lisa Marie Presley to be there, but she had just recorded a duet with her father for the song In the Ghetto, and they had a music video, and so they had the man was still on stage. And I believe Priscilla was the one who had come out and told the crowd what was going to be happening, that they were going to play this new music video that they had created. So the band's on stage, and they just go ahead and they lower a screen in front of the band, and then they start playing the video. And it was a really, she did a great job with this. I really love this version of In the Ghetto. It's also on YouTube. I don't know that the live version, for what we saw, I'm not sure if that was filmed or not, although I did film it with my camera, but I can't put it online though because of copyright. But anyway, they played the video, and it was really, really nice. And when they get to the end of the video, and they're doing like a reprise on the last part of the chorus, In the Ghetto, cold and gray, over and over, they did it like 4 or 5 times, and all of a sudden the screen starts to rise up, and we realize the band is playing along with it, and in a red dress, all of a sudden there's Lisa Marie Presley, pregnant as can be, and she sings the last part of the song, and man, the crowd was on their feet. It was so awesome. We loved it. Now I know some people aren't in. Some of the Elvis fans aren't into Lisa's music, but I'm really into music, and I write songs myself, so I can really appreciate the lyrics that she does, because she does a really good job with her lyrics. They're really, really good, and she has some catchy songs as well. But that was a great, great moment. It was again, she was the highlight of that one as well for me. It was really cool because it was unexpected. They didn't say Lisa Marie's going to be here. They just said, I think they may have said that we're going to play the music video. I forget exactly because it's been quite a few years. I was going to mention a little bit. Most of the people that are listening to this are going to know the history of Elvis and Lisa Marie and all. But if you didn't know, she had 4 children. She was married 4 times. She was married to Danny Keough in the 80s, I believe the late 80s, maybe to the early 90s. I don't have the exact dates. I think they were married maybe 6 years, 7 years. They had 2 children, Riley and Ben. And Ben has sadly passed away a couple of years ago, which really impacted his mother's life, as you can expect. It really upset her a lot, and I don't think she ever really got over it. But they had those two kids. Riley is a successful actor, and she began directing recently. I think she won an award at Sundance Film Festival. So the two of them have been to Memphis a bunch of times. Like when Lisa would be there, sometimes they would go out there to do their announcements, and Riley and Ben would be there with them. And then, see, she married Michael Jackson for 2 years. They were married. I don't know if Michael ever came to Memphis or not. This would have been before I was going to Elvis Week. That would have been interesting to see, though. Could you imagine if they'd had like Michael Jackson turn on the Christmas lights or something? That would have been pretty cool. But she married him for a short time, and then she married actor Nicolas Cage. A lot of people probably have forgotten about that, but they were married for 3 or 4 months. There was even like rumors online about how he was such a huge Elvis fan that he was like trying on Elvis's clothes. I don't know if you knew that's true or not. I just read that kind of stuff online. But they were married for a short amount of time, and Michael Lockwood, and they ended up getting married. And they had 2 daughters, Riley and Harper. They're, I think, 14 now, I believe. And so they came to town when Lisa would come up there. If she had to like make a little speech or something, she would have them there. They might like wave at the crowd and all. And I also forgot to mention when I met her the first time after the conversations, Michael was there, and after she signed my autograph, he's just kind of standing there leaning against the Sirius Radio booth, and I was like, Michael, will you sign this? So he came over and he signed mine too. I think he was really surprised that somebody would want his autograph when everybody, most people there are there for Elvis, Lisa, Priscilla, that kind of stuff. Not someone who isn't directly, in part of the Elvis world. I know they were married, so that kind of makes him part of it, but you know what I mean. So anyway, that was pretty cool. Now I'm going to cut away to a clip. I talked to my friend Colin Paul in the UK yesterday. He was at a birthday party, actually, and I asked him if whenever he had time, would he send me his thoughts on Lisa, because he's met her a few times himself. So this is Colin Paul. This is direct from Manchester. I believe it was from Manchester in England. So check it out.
I first met Lisa Marie many years ago, and I've seen her at several shows in Memphis, especially around the anniversary time. Now, this past week, when I saw her for Elvis's 88th birthday celebrations in Memphis, she seemed fine, because obviously she's been through a hell of a lot with losing her son, and I thought she looked really well, and it was nice to see her looking well and smiling. And after her little speech there, she came over and decided that she wanted to speak to some of the fans. Well, I was lucky enough for her to come over to me, as you were, my friend, when she came over to you, and you had your photograph taken with her. I was filming live on Facebook at the time, so I asked her to say hello to the fans in the UK, which she kindly did. We gave each other a hug. I told her how good it was to see her, and she said the same to me. It was good to see you too. And she walked away, and I walked away quite happy that I'd managed to speak to her and at the same time film her as well. Now, a couple of days later, I was at the guest house at Graceland, and I was sat at the bar, and the Golden Globes were on, the celebrations of the award show, and I saw her there, and I was watching her. I thought she looked quite different from what she did just 2 days earlier on. She seemed a bit unsteady to me, and I wouldn't say slurring her words, but I could just tell that there's something not quite right there. And obviously now, after hearing this devastating news that she's passed away, my God, it's like Elvis has died all over again. It's that kind of same feeling, because whichever way you look at it, she was part of Elvis, obviously by being his daughter. So being here in the UK now, I'm obviously home from Memphis. I got home just hours ago, and through the jet lag, I'm just watching all the news programs. She's all over the news here in the UK, as she is, I guess, in the States, and it's just all very sad. This is worldwide news. She was a legend, just like her dad, and she had a great talent. She was loved by everybody, and everybody, was really worried about her as if it was their own daughter, because she's been through a hell of a lot with losing her son and her marriage is breaking up, and her addiction to painkillers, etc. And I just feel like she's had a really, really hard life. And don't forget, she was famous from the moment she was born. There ain't no doubt about that. And she'll forever be around, and she'll ever be famous through her relationship with her dad, Elvis. So, yeah, my thoughts are, it's very, very sad. It's early days. I've just learnt that she will be buried next to Elvis and Ben in the meditation garden, so it's good that she's coming home. And I guess next time I'm in Memphis, I'll be visiting an extra grave there at the meditation garden. May she rest in peace.
So, about 6 months ago, I had gone to Tupelo Elvis Festival, and right before I had left, a friend of mine had messaged me and told me that they were doing a special screening at Graceland after Tupelo to show the new Elvis movie before it came out. So this is the beginning of June, and wanted to know if I was going to go. I told him, this person, I did not have a ticket, didn't have any idea how to get a ticket, and like a minute or two later, my phone dings, and I click on it, and all of a sudden, there's a ticket. I'm not sure how I got this ticket. I know this person got me this ticket, but I'm not sure how they did it, but I wasn't complaining. So when I got back from Tupelo Elvis Festival, we went to Graceland and did the screening, and we'd already read online that the director might be there, but that the cast and crew was not expected to attend the show. But I was still like, the director. I know I'm also a writer and a filmmaker. I've done gazillions of films, which a lot of them you can find on YouTube if you really want to see. You can look at Outlaw Film Productions. I think it's actually Outlaw Films, I believe, on YouTube. But anyway, so we went to see the movie, and they had, I believe it was Joel Weinshanker came out there to talk a little bit, and then introduced Baz Luhrmann, who was the director of the film. He's done a lot of films, like he did Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio years ago. But anyway, he came out and talked for a few minutes, and then he said that they actually had a couple of people there that they were going to introduce. So we're like, yes, awesome. Well, little do we know, they have some of the cast members. So they had, I believe Alton Mason may have been there. He was the guy who played Little Richard in the film. Now, I filmed this. I have my cell phone, so I shot this whole thing, but I don't have it on hand, so I can't recall exactly who all was there. But they did have Austin Butler, which the crowd went nuts for. And then he kind of teased a little bit about how there was somebody that he wanted to help get their start, because this was somebody who was really into the business. He wanted to give this person a hand, and he said, it's Tom Hanks. And then Tom Hanks comes out there, and once again, we all go nuts. At this point, everybody pretty much in the theater is on their feet, because, we're in the room with people that me particularly have looked up to for a long, long time. Tom Hanks, he's made so many good movies, and the guy's standing directly in front of me, like 10 feet away, and I'm staring at him with a big grin on my face. It's really, really, really awesome. Well, then he also says we got some members of the Presley family. Riley Keough comes out. I haven't never been that close to her before. I've only seen her at like the birthday celebration, but it would be a long, long way away. Then he brings out Priscilla. Then he brings out Lisa. And so that was really, really cool. And he got Austin talked for a moment. Tom Hanks talked. Priscilla, Lisa. I can't remember if Riley talked, and I don't think she did.
We love all of it.
Thank you, and I love you too. Yesterday you couldn't shut me up here. And today, my life is a little bit kind of down right now, so you're pulling me up, so thank you. I'm so proud of this movie. I really am. I mean, not much, to be honest. I haven't really left my house for the last 2 years, unless it has to do with my children. So to get me to leave California and fly to Memphis and be here, aside from coming to visit my son, it's a big deal. I truly, truly believe in this film. I'm so proud of Baz. I'm so, so, so proud of Austin. I can't tell you enough how proud I am of this film and how much I have to support it. I just have to. And I really hope you feel the same way. I really do. Yeah.
But it was really, really cool getting to see them. And Lisa, I hadn't seen Lisa in a long time because her son, like I said, had sadly passed away in 2020. And she had not done a lot of public, events since then. I don't think she had been to Elvis Week, I don't believe, since then. But she was there, and she looked a lot better. She looked a lot better than the stuff that I'd seen online, people posting pictures. The fact that she came out for this was really, really awesome on her part. And cast and crew left. They showed the movie. Man, the whole place was pretty much in tears. And I was pretty close myself. There's some stuff towards the end of the film that, man, really, really tugs at your heartstrings. But then Boz came out and he did a Q&A, and I was fortunate enough that I did the first question. And other people there, like Nevin Castanedo, he did a question, Jeff Lewis, and a few other people. That was really, really cool. Okay, so fast forward to 6 months to the birthday celebration. I get an opportunity, as always, to come to the birthday celebration. And somebody had mentioned that Lisa was going to be in town because there was a new exhibit that was going to be showcasing some of the props that were used in Elvis the movie, and it was only going to be there for a short time, maybe a month or something. I'm not exactly sure on the time, but I was told that it wouldn't be there for very long. So there was a chance that she might actually show for the proclamation as well. So I definitely wanted to see that. So I got there. I actually got there. I thought pretty early, about almost an hour early. But there were so many people. I've never seen this many people at the birthday proclamation because it's January in Memphis. It's cold, and it's kind of nasty, the weather and all. But anyway, they were all there. We waited about a half hour or so, and they finally let us through. And a lot of the people I don't think had ever been there before, so they didn't really know where everybody would be standing. So a lot of people were standing behind where the podium would be, where I knew to go to the front. So I went to the front, got as close as I could. I shot the whole thing, and I even separated the Lisa Marie part. It's on Outlaw Films on my YouTube page. I think it says something like Lisa Marie Presley speaking to the crowd at Elvis Presley's 88th birthday, something along those lines. You can find it online. It's got 80-something thousand views.
Thank you. It's been a while. I missed you. And I love you. I keep saying you're the only people that can bring me out of my house. I'm not kidding. And I love you back, and that's why I'm here. So today, he would have been 88 years old. It's hard to believe. And I think that he'd be proud. I think this year's been an incredible year. I think the movie was incredible. And I'm very proud of it. I hope you guys are too. Yeah. So I really appreciate, I was trying to think of what to say where I don't sound like I was planning on saying anything scripted. But it's just so moving how every year you come from all over the world, and it's moving to me and my family, and thank you.
Anyway, I shot that, and when they announced Lisa was going to get up there, she did not look the way she looked in June. I will say, I don't know if she's been sick for a while or if she's not getting any sleep, but she seemed really, really tired, and so a lot of people noticed that, but she was in good spirits. She got up there and she told us that we're the only thing that seems to be able to get her to leave her house these days, and that she kept telling people in the audience that she loved them. They would shout out, "I love you, Lisa," and she's saying, "I love you too." And so she only talks for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, but then surprisingly, so they brought her up in a golf cart, and they still had the golf cart out there, so I figured she was going to hop in the golf cart and ride back up to the house, but she didn't. She went over and started shaking hands, taking pictures, signing autographs, and again, there's way more people here than I've ever seen. I don't know about the olden days before I was coming. There could have been more people then. I'm not really sure, but it was packed. It was like 6-8 feet thick, all of people, all the way up Elvis Presley's driveway up to the house. So I walked around just taking videos. It felt like there was no shot that I was going to be able to actually, get close enough to talk to her or get a picture or autograph or anything. But I just went around taking videos, and then as I'm walking up towards the house, a friend of mine, Doc Ballard, happens to see me, and he's standing there with a friend of his, and so I was able to just hang out with them, and they had a little bit of a better shot. There was like 4 or 5 people that were in front of them, so it was a little bit closer. And so we just stood there, and when Lisa got up to us, I'm like, there's a video that I shot, but I haven't posted it yet, where I got some pretty good shots of her, except for my stupid arm is sticking in front of me holding a little notepad trying to get her to grab it and sign it. Well, the people in front of me got their autographs and turned to me and said, "We're leaving. You want our spot?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." And so I got right up there, right next to her, and she was signing somebody else's autograph, and then I said, "Miss Presley, may I take a photograph with you?" And she said, "Of course you can." But then she turned and started to walk, and so I touched her arm, and I said, "Can we take the picture now?" And she said, "Sure." And so I was able to take a picture with her, which was really, really cool, because the first time I met her, I got an autograph, but I wasn't able to take a picture. Well, then I handed her my notebook, and she signed it, but like I said, she seemed really, really sleepy. Like she maybe should have been up for a long time, because she signed the autograph, and then she looked up at this lady that was standing in front of her, and she said, "Is this yours?" And I said, "No, ma'am, that's mine." So she gave it to me. It was a really, really nice moment. And she continued to sign. She was probably there a good hour, meeting and greeting fans, taking pictures and all that good stuff. I was really, really surprised she stayed that long, because at one point, Joel Weinshanker, who kind of runs the business now, he was telling people that they were going to have to clear the area so they could start the tours, and then people weren't happy about that. And he's like, "I'm not the bad guy." But I asked him. He was standing there, and after Lisa Marie signed, an autograph for me, I tried to hand it to him. I asked him if he would sign it, and he said, "Nope, I don't do that." I said, "You don't sign it?" He said, "Nope, I don't sign anything." And I was like, "Wow, dude, okay." Because usually when you come to Memphis and you run into people like Jerry Schilling, or back before a lot of these guys passed away, like Sonny West and Joe Esposito, you ask them for a picture and an autograph, they're always like, yes. I've never had somebody there tell me no, but I don't know. So I don't know what his deal is. Maybe he's not a big Elvis fan. I'm not sure. But that was it. She was there for a short time, and then that was Sunday. I put my video online. I was really surprised at how many views it got, because usually when if I filmed the proclamation or something, it might get a couple of thousand views, right off the bat within a couple of days, and then it kind of slows way down. This thing had, by I think Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon or something like that, it had like 44,000 views. So I was really, really surprised about that. Then came the Golden Globes. And if you haven't seen this is really, really sad. But when I watched the Golden Globes, it felt like a completely different person than what I had met, the person that I met at Graceland 2 days earlier. She seemed like she just did not feel well at all, and it seemed like she didn't have a lot of strength. And I don't know, she could have had she could have had an ongoing illness for all I know, and she could have been on medication or something for that. I'm not really sure, but she just seemed really, really out of it in that, and that was really, really sad. But I still didn't think anything major was going to come of it. Well, then all of a sudden I'm actually cooking, and my phone dings, and I came in there a few minutes later to see what it was, and it was a friend of mine from Belgium who sent me a message saying that he had just heard that Lisa had been rushed to the hospital after going into cardiac arrest. And I was like, oh my God, what in the world's going on? So I was following this. I started, like my friend Anna is a big Elvis fan as well. I texted her and I was like, Lisa Marie's in the hospital. She had a heart attack or something. And she was like, yeah, I just heard. And so we're all sitting there, and we're all basically like, God, I hope she's okay. It's so crazy. We just saw her the other day. And 2 or 3 hours later, like Priscilla had even posted something about her being in the hospital and she's in good care. And so we were all optimistic, thinking, okay, well, maybe this isn't going to be that bad. Maybe she'll recover and, just have to take it a little bit easier. Because she's been, like I said, her son passed away, so she's been really, really depressed for a good while. And I know that can do a lot to your health. But, yeah, a couple of hours later, a friend of mine called me. And this is a person that's not part of the Elvis world. I won't say her name because some people might not want me mentioning them by name. But she called and she said, is Lisa Marie okay? And I said, no, she's went into cardiac arrest, and they've taken her to the hospital, and I think they've put her in an induced coma or something like that, so they can let her just relax for a little bit. And she said, well, they're reporting online that she died. And I was almost immediately, I was like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta look into this. So I hung up with her, looked it up, and oh my God, my heart just sank. I mean, I was just so upset. As soon as I saw that, I couldn't believe it. God, yeah, I'm almost getting upset thinking about it right now. So I can, the whole Elvis world, we're really, really tight. And even though, most of us in the Elvis world, we really don't know Priscilla, and we really don't know Lisa and these people, but we've met them and we've followed their lives for so long that they kind of feel like they're part of our family. So when something like this happens, it's like it's happening to you too. So it was really, really, really sad for me and for a whole lot of people in the Elvis world. But anyway, I'm not gonna. This was supposed to be like 10 minutes, and now it's like a half an hour or so. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep this going. I just wanted to say, my heart goes out to her family, Riley, Finley, Harper, her brother, her half brother, which a lot of people don't even know, Navarone, Priscilla, all of her family. I don't even know who all that would be, but in the whole Elvis world, it's just a horrible, horrible time. So just remember her. The way she was, and think about all the good things. Listen to her music, and watch the videos online. There's a lot of good videos. There's a lot of good interviews people have done with her over the years, and that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for listening. I know I haven't done a podcast in a while, or actually I've done some podcasts, but I just haven't posted any of them. So anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.